Hello everyone, and a happy new year to you all, and welcome back to another video of the F1 2021 Driver Career Mode with Mercedes, episode number 44 today for the Italian Grand Prix, season 3, round number 12. If you missed the previous episode of pain and suffering, then I recommend you go and check that out, and of course subscribe to the channel if you're new to see plenty more F1 2021 Driver Career Mode videos going into the 2022 then. But yes, here we are, R&D. Wise, we're pretty much maxed out on aero now, so we're going to look at a brakes upgrade. We're sort of trying to get this. Unfortunately, I don't know what it is, but I feel like some of the cars might be able to upgrade more than us. So,
okay, I need your attention. The tech regulations are changing. There's a risk some of our hard work will be undone, so we need to mitigate it. As soon as you can, I want you to look at the developments we have and tell us what areas you want to invest in protecting.
So we've got 55 parts to redevelop, and well, if this weekend can get worse.
Cannot be serious!
So it's a double whammy. We've got 55 parts to redevelop, which I shall go ahead and do those in the background, by the way, as well. And also, it's going to be raining in qualifying, double round. Valtteri Bottas is decided that he took a sabbatical like, for this season, like, Mika Hakkinen did. And like Mika Hakkinen isn't coming back. Bottas is the second Finn to retire, and the second person to actually retire. A little bit, I don't understand why that is. Maybe he feels that there's not going to be a race seat for him available in season 4. But coming into this one, then we've retained our position as the best team on the grids, which is good. Although Red Bull have upgraded themselves, so they're now back up to second place after dipping down a bit. So they've caught us back up a bit, so we'll see what threat they cause. Of course, Lance Stroll leads the World Championship coming into this race by 10 points, I think it is, or something like that. So we'll look to chase that down in the remaining 5 episodes, as well as we hope to become a first-time world champion in this career mode of ours as well. Although we have only won 2 races, so a race win in Italy would be good. But bear in mind, remember, qualifying hasn't been the best, and although on paper we're the fastest team on the grid, the car definitely doesn't feel like it's the fastest team on the grid at times. As well, so we have struggled recently, and well, the struggles are going to continue with some rain, and it looks quite miserable out there, I'm not going to lie, in the wet at Monza, and typical Monza fashion and qualifying, we're down in P9 as well coming into this one, and it gets a bit worse this qualifying lap, because up ahead we have a Haas. Now, as we know, it's the Haas of Mick Schumacher, it's not Mazitwat, but for some reason Schumacher didn't want to get out of the way, as we drop down to P11 as the 2 Williams are now to P12 now, so we need to do that. We are 4 tenths faster, but the Haas is in the way. He's on a cool-down lap as well, I can tell you. He needs to be getting out of the way. I was a little bit annoyed that the game didn't give him a 5-place grid penalty, although to be fair, it's a bit hard to be. He'd only get penalised 1 place, so that's really not a penalty. Maybe a 25-second time penalty, like they used to do a few years ago. We're past him now on the straight, but Schumacher has cost us time. We are up on our time against Russell and Giovinazzi, but that's not really where we want to be aiming for. Especially the fact that we were looking for a place solid inside the top 10. We haven't had a good qualifying, really good qualifying, and top 4 position since, well, the only time we have been close was Azerbaijan, and that was we were 4th until Gasly ran to the back of us. Crossed the line though, and it's only enough for a pathetic P10. Well, as I say, look, Hamilton is only 7th, but he is 8 tenths faster than us in qualifying. So this car does not fit my style of driving, basically. So for what it is. So, well, it's going to be interesting. See what we can do from 10th place on the grid. It's time for the race.
We're back in Italy once again for another round of the Formula One World Championship. And what a great race is in store for us today here at the oldest circuit on the calendar. Monza hosted its first race all the way back in 1922. With top speeds reaching 215 miles per hour, only a few places can challenge Monza's crown as the fastest circuit in F1. Hard braking zones going into the 3 chicanes make up the majority of the 11 corners on this 3.6 mile circuit. And just in case the slipstream wasn't enough, 2 DRS zones will help encourage some closer action. It's race day yet again, and joining me for a chat, Anthony Davidson. And our racers are certainly in for a rough day today. What will you be watching for as they go down into turn 1?
Well, the start of the race is always one of the most nerve-wracking parts. You have to hope that everyone is able to get off to a clean start, and this is possibly the trickiest part of the entire race. So many drivers in such a small space, and finding your braking point into turn 1 as well. It's a testament to the driver's skill that there aren't more incidents.
Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Young superstar Max Verstappen starts from pole position, and talented Spaniard Carlos Sainz completes the front row. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Ricciardo, Lando Norris and Stroll, Hamilton, Fernando Alonso, Ocon and Mercedes, Gasly, Russell, Antonio Giovinazzi and Vettel, Tsunoda, Joe, Mick Schumacher and Nicholas Latifi, Perez and Nikita Mazepin. Now, it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track.
After the points finish last race, let's aim to keep the momentum going.
Yes, we'll try and we have to do it now. Because we qualified outside the, well, no, because excuse me, we didn't qualify outside the turn. Because it was a wet qualifying, we're gonna undercut everyone, and because it's a 25% race, 5 laps on mediums, 8 laps on softs. So for right red lights then for the Italian Grand Prix at Monza. What was that? No, and away we go, and it's an okay start on the mediums. The mediums are not a great tyre to be starting on by the looks of it. It's the 2 Alpines who have gone off into the distance. We're going to dive down the inside of both of them though into turn 1, and the Hamilton who's had a poor start. He's down the position. We're going to be swooped by one of the Alpines there. We're going to try and go around to the inside. But look at the speed. I think that's Ocon in the Alpines. Just gone right round the outside of us. As Alonso now is going to have a go at us at the final corner. Clearly, we do not have the pace in this career mode. For whatever reason, the speed of the Mercedes engine is just not good enough. Even though that we're maxed out on engine power, I don't know what it is. Okay, it seems that it's down on power maybe, or it's something else that with some sort of upgrade that hasn't worked. Is making the engine slower. Oh, Alonso has had a massive crash behind us as we were sort of trying to break the slipstream there down the back straight, and Alonso just completely and utterly binned it in the wall, and then he's going to get clouted by 1, 2, 3, 4 cars there, or all out on turn 1. So that's going to bring out, on lap 2, excuse me, and that's going to bring out the safety car. And, well, we might as well come in. I mean, there's no point in us staying out. The safety car will be out for a couple of laps, at which point it'll be our time to pit. So, we should be able to go to the end of the Grand Prix. 10 laps on softs should be okay. We might... the tyre wear isn't that high anyway, in a 25%. So Noda is the only other person who's coming in with us, so he's going to gain as well. But the safety car is out then with Max Verstappen, the man who would have won, a few times ago, obviously, I can't remember quite how he did, but he's trying to come back in this championship as well. He leads ahead of 2 Ferraris at Monza as we're going to on the restart, getting close to Haas. We're going to dive down a Schumacher. I don't want a deja vu of qualifying there. Try and go down the inside of Guan Yu Zhou. It doesn't quite work in the Alfa Romeo car. We're going to be in a slipstream. At least we're ahead of Schumacher, and he can't block us like he did in qualifying. But Zhou's going to try and force us to the grass. He's not giving us hardly giving us any space. The Chinese driving the Alfa Romeo, but we're down the other side and up into P11 ahead of the Alfa Romeo. Next up is Russell and then Ocon. So we are in good time. We are in good time. Although Ocon is going to get past Giovinazzi now. We're going to have a look down the. We'll be to we thought about the inside. We're going to move to the outside of Russell. Try and avoid the back of Giovinazzi. Turn the inside, turn 2. Thank you very much. Force him out and move up into the points. P10 as well. Next up is Giovinazzi. Can we get the Italian on his home Grand Prix? Of course, we won't be seeing him for soon. Of course, he is departing this series, career mode, once we get to next year's game. We set a new fastest lap, 1:19.6. That's the fastest lap, personal best, excuse me, not a fastest lap as well. The fastest lap I think is in the 1:18. So again, the pace not there. And look at Ocon. He's taken 1.4 seconds out of us as well. So the performance wasn't there for us, but nevertheless, the strategy is, because we're ahead of Stroll now, which is crucial, of course, because we want to get as many points on Stroll as possible. But even better for us is that Stroll is still will be behind Sainz and Norris. As we're looking at as we take the lead then ahead of Sainz and Norris pit. This is the new second place man, Yuki Tsunoda, in the AlphaTauri. And the third place man is Sergio Perez. Can Verstappen and Leclerc, 4th and 5th on the road, get in front of them? As we look at Lance Stroll, he's in a McLaren sandwich. Would love it if Lando Norris, who's really out of this championship, could overtake both Stroll and his teammate, actually. Sainz as well, and Hamilton is all the way behind there, not really having a lot of pace, so as well. But watching now, Sergio Perez getting absolutely mugged by both Verstappen and Leclerc down the inside of Parabolica, and Perez is down the order now. They'll be looking to overtake Tsunoda as well on the last lap. But for us, what a strategy call by myself to pit early. It was a beautiful strategy, and in the end, it's comfortable. P1 back on the top step, even though we don't deserve it, because the pace was absolutely atrocious today. But nevertheless, I'll definitely take that. Yuki Tsunoda gets driver of the day for his podium.
Here we are then, a thoroughly deserved win in Italy after another excellent Grand Prix. Anthony Davidson, a resounding victory today. What set them apart from the rest?
Well, the safety car completely changed the race, didn't it? It's hard to say exactly what would have happened without it, but there's no question that they came out of that situation in a good position.
Mercedes are on top form once again after an excellent race weekend. It's great to see them up on that podium once again.
It certainly is. I mean, it has been a while since Austria as well, but this is we're starting the new year off with the right way, with a win here as well for Mercedes, and getting our championship back on track after 4 desperately disappointing races as well. Now, you might have noticed on the podium, Verstappen did finish ahead of Tsunoda, and he got it on the outside of Parabolica at the final corner, but Tsunoda was able to stay ahead at Leclerc. I don't know if there was a little bit of team orders. To be fair, 18.7 was my fastest lap. Lewis at 18.4. So I don't know. The car doesn't suit my driving style, as I said earlier. Perez, big points for Aston Martin and for AlphaTauri is actually in their constructors and drivers championship fights with the likes of Williams, Alpine as well, as sort of down there. Ocon failed to score really after a poor ending, but we're back on top of the championship, 10 points clear now of Lance Stroll, so we've gone reverse direction. Max Verstappen is coming into range, as is Daniel Ricciardo. Hamilton is 5th, but with the car and his pace and his form, I think he's out of it, as are Norris, who's been inconsistent. The two Ferraris haven't had the car, and everyone else hasn't really been in nowhere near, obviously. I think it's a four-way fight. We'll see as this progresses. You never know who could come out on top. The next race, Singapore, which is of course tomorrow, and the constructors were closed back into Red Bull. It's looking like a two-way fight, as of course Norris has sort of let down McLaren really with his inconsistency in this third season. So onwards and upwards then. Good to be
Great
back on
work
top.
out there today. Let's have your thoughts. First in the championship, how does that feel?
It feels like coming home. Yes, hopefully F1 is coming home, hopefully, and that championship coming home to the UK as opposed to going to wherever else.
Do you think this team are performing as well as they could do?
AlphaTauri need a bit more development. They haven't developed at all the car at all this season, so they could perform better, especially with Gasly having some great performances this season. That's Claire
Great.
Mouths
Well,
off
that's
there.
everything.
But anyway, there we go. Next race will be Singapore. That will be uploaded tomorrow night as well. But it's our third race of the season, of the season after 4 desperately disappointing Grand Prix in a row as well. So this is the kickstart that we needed to get the championship back on track. Now we look forward to 4 races to go: Singapore, USA. Might be a little bit tricky, those two, but then Mexico and Brazil. Well, as I say, we need upgrades by the looks of it, because, I mean, if we want to win this championship, it looks like we're going to have to upgrade the car even more, which is bad for Season 4, because obviously we've got that R&D reset. So there has to be a compromise, and at some point we will have to say, look, we can't fit any more parts on the car in time for the final race, Brazil. And that's at the point we're going to say that, probably say, look, it's time to stop. We'll start we'll look at adapting parts for Season 4. But anyway, if you haven't enjoyed this video, then leave a like, subscribe channel if you see plenty more episodes of the F1 2021 Driver Career Mode as and when they come out. Until the next video then, I'll see you next time. Take care, thanks so much for watching, enjoy your day, and goodbye.